BBC One's brand new crime drama from Queen of them, Sarah Phelps. You may know that she adapted a lot of the Agatha Christie stories, starting with And Then There Were None. Then she did Witness for the Prosecution. She's done a lot. She did Hercule Poirot with John Malkovich recently, and now she's adapting these new stories. Dublin Murders, going to be shown in double bills over the next Monday and Tuesday nights at 9 on BBC One. Killen Scott and Sarah Green, they're detectives Rob Riley and Cassie Maddox. It's a new psychological thriller, and it's drawn from Tanya French's best-selling Dublin Murder Squad novels, so she's adapted them. And this one is about Cassie and Devlin working together when the body of a young girl is found in the woods being the same place that two other children went missing back in 1985. And not to spoil anything, but there's a bigger connection to the case than we initially realised, in a bit of a nice twisty thing at the end of episode 1. Paul, as a crime drama fan, what did you think?
Yeah, I really liked it. It ticked a lot of boxes. I absolutely adore Sarah Phelps. I think she's one of this country's best screenwriters.
Has a great ear for dialogue, doesn't she?
Her language is fantastic. Her use of language, rather, is fantastic. Dublin Murders is taken from Tana French, kind of an award-winning crime novelist. 2 of her Dublin Murder Squad books, In the Woods and The Likeness, and that's quite a task.
She's meshed them together, basically, is what she's had to do here.
So good, and quite an achievement, kind of fusing 2 novels in one 8-part series. And I think for me, it just ticked a lot of boxes that you look for in quality crime drama. Some intriguing central characters. Not quite sure whether you liked them or not initially. You've got an intriguing murder. And you've got lots and lots of layers. There are plenty of familiar things in there. Rob Riley and Cassie Maddox's boss is your old school kind of swearing police chief that you...
Conleth Hill, isn't it? From
that's right, Game of Thrones. And he's great.
Last time I saw him, he was dressed as a Smurf in Car Share, so that threw me a little.
Before that, he was a eunuch, so he's broken out of his type, really. So it's great to see him in a role that kind of is a little bit different for him. As I say, it's got a strong sense of place. I love Ireland, and I love Dublin in particular. And of course, you've got various layers, because the 2 coppers are investigating a murder that has taken place in the present day. And then, as you rightly mentioned, it's got connections to a murder that happened a couple of decades earlier.
Yeah.
Also, you've got this kind of socio-political dimension, which a lot of the Scandi stuff has. So for me, it ticked a lot of boxes. Very atmospheric. Things unfold not very slowly, but slowly. So you're constantly wanting more information about the actual murder itself, and also the connection that certain people have with the murder that happened previously. And I think that's paced just nicely. The release of information just keeps you going, keeps you wanting more. So yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree with some of what Paul was saying, and I don't know if this is just based on the week I've had, but I really couldn't get into this very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found it a bit of a slog, if I'm honest, at times. I did watch the 2 episodes that were on this week, because I thought, you can't always judge it by the one episode. And there were bits in the second episode that I like that they focused more on her in the second episode. I did like Conleth Hill as the sort of, you say, like the old school boss.
Get in my office.
But I wasn't intrigued by the central mystery, really, or his past, really. I feel like it's things that I've seen before, and it's a shame, because I do really like Sarah Phelps' writing, but I just couldn't get myself into this at all, and it sent me to sleep twice as well, which is
Oh, that's not good. I mean, my point of view on this is, I would agree with the majority of what Paul says. It's brilliantly atmospheric. It looks stunning. The central mystery is really interesting. The family at the centre of it is really interesting. My bugbear was, I really didn't like Killen Scott in the role. I really struggled with him. I thought some of his delivery was really clanky, and maybe that's down to who he is, and maybe that's the way he's playing it. But I struggled with them, and I also struggled with the two of them as a partnership. Really, I didn't really connect with them as a team. I mean, do you think that's important, Paul? That the team at the central. What did you think of them as a duo?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Together? I mean, I think it is, generally speaking, when you get a successful police or investigative team, there's normally a bit of yin and yang about them, you know. So, for instance, you take Saga Noren and Martin Roda out of The Bridge, two completely opposite characters. The reason why they work is because they're so opposite, because they rub each other the wrong way, because they're so different. I think we'll warm to these guys as the series goes on, because I think Phelps absolutely set us up for... So basically it starts by those two guys investigating a separate murder. They're just on the street, they get called to sort out a murder. For the first 5-10 minutes, we see them at work. We get to know them a little bit. And as you say, you're kind of like, I'm not sure whether I like this guy or not, or this character, this, you know, Rob Riley. He's a little bit cocky. In fact, together they're a little bit cocky. To begin with, I do think they're being set up for us not to love them straight away.
Maybe that's right then.
And I think as we see it in trailers, we know that these guys are about to face their biggest test they've ever had.
I didn't know you did the voices for all
I don't like to share it. But I do think, they were set up as initially quite cocky, a little bit arrogant even, and the case that they're about to embark on is going to destroy them, basically. I'm hoping that will grow to like them more and more as the series goes by, and as this case kind of gets under their skin and gets under our skin as well.
I think actually it's a smart decision the BBC have made to put this on over 2 nights every week, because there's an awful lot going on and you've got to keep your wits about you. I was saying that we don't do dense stories overly, but this is packed in because it's the 2 novels. She's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of layers, and there's stuff that comes out in episode 2 where you think, oh my goodness, there's another layer. It's going to be interesting to see whether Sarah can kind of keep that balance, but I'm sure she can. So, but yeah, I thought it was a strong, in crime drama terms. Obviously, I watch a lot. I thought it was quite a strong start, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the series goes.
So that is Dublin Murders, Mondays and Tuesdays at 9 on BBC One. I'm somewhere in between Matt and Paul. I'm in sort of a sandwich. I don't know. I don't quite.
It's an odd position to be in, because you're normally the negative one. I don't like this.